hear this feed. Now I am plugged in the wall, so we shouldn't have a problem with power, electricity, because I'm using their electricity. So hopefully this should go on without a problem. Now I will say it should go from 3 p.m. all the way till 5 p.m. But because I'm deployed, because I'm out in the streets, we may end way earlier. If it go 30 minutes, I'm okay with it today. And I try to make sure that the fourth Saturday that I'm physically situated somewhere, so I don't have to be disrupted like this. But it is what it is. This is what we're going to deal with today. At least it'll be recorded. You guys can share it with your people as well. So we always open up with being grateful and thankful. This month, I am grateful and thankful, as I am every month, for each of you who have come into this orbit of ours and who have put their contributions on the stage for others to benefit from. All those donors and supporters, you guys are the ones that allow us to continue to do what we do and to grow. So without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So thank each and every person, every $1 donor, $12 donor, the loaners. Without you, we just couldn't do what we do. For those who this is your first time, I'm your host, Cyron Smith. Everyone just calls me Cy. S-Y Smith for short. I am the founder of the National Block Club University. That's our website, www.nationalblockclubuniversity.com. Our whole mission is to combat the violence in our neighborhoods, block by block, across 167 of America's most dangerous neighborhoods. Our whole philosophy is going block by block, getting to know everyone on the block and linking everyone on that block to people where it makes sense at. That's what we do. That's what we'll continue to do. We need your help. $12 a year is what we ask from every single grown up. With 40 million Black people in America, we hope to be eventually a $480 million structure. That's we hope. $500 million if we're ever successful. 12 million is 480 million, $500 million, what I meant to say. 12 million is what we need out of Chicago, the third largest city in America. So let's get on with the agenda. For those who have watched us in the past, if you go to our website, you will see the previous summits on there, A through E. We just did A through E 6 months ago, which is in January. A through E is our last names for that month. So it is all the A through E personnel that we're talking to today, all the A through E. And any new people who just want to learn more about what we do, this is for you. Our agenda is as follows. We start out with the opening. We go into roll call. We go into the good news reports. We go into the rural town reports. We move into safety and young people. We talk about the violence. We talk about missing persons and vacant lots. We move over to economic development. We talk about construction. We move over to education, talk about health and food. We switch over to policy and legal accountability. Then we close it out with the summary and what's next. That's our agenda. It's a whole lot. The 2 hours normally go very rapidly. Again, I'm deployed right now. So if we go 30 minutes, we're good, as I said before. So roll call, I'm gonna go through the zip codes again for people who this is your first time. 20 zip codes in Chicago is our structure. These zip codes are paramount to everything we do, So on the west side of Chicago, we have zip code 60612, 60623, 60624, 60639, 60644, and 60651. Out of those 6 zip codes on the west side of Chicago, today, being the summit for last names A through E, Byron Dickens of 60612 is the only one that should be on the call, this Zoom with us today, because this is his 6th month out the year. We haven't bugged him since January, and now it's July. Won't bug him again until next January, 2022. So with that, that's how we're operated. I was with the governor of 60623 while I was downtown Chicago. His last name is Strickland. And so he was serving extra duty today. We have Sandra Brinson, 60624. She doesn't use technology like that, so we won't have her on here today, but she's the leader for 60624 Garfield Park zip code. Then we have 60609, new governor, Gail, Sister Gail. So technically, because she's new, she should be on. That's in the new city neighborhood. 60620, 60621, 60629, 60636, 60652. 60652 is the Ashburn Wrightwood area. That governor should be on Brittany Corners because her last name is begin with the alphabet C. So Corners should be on. Then we move over to the east side of Chicago, 60615, 60617, 60619. That is Erica Dunn. Technically, she should be on D. Last name is A through E, so D is a part of that. 60628, 60637, 60643, 60643. Diana Barnes technically should be on. Last name starts with the alphabet B. This is the last name is A through E. 60649, 60653. 60653 is in transition. We have a new brother over there in that zip code. It looks like he's coming on board and he may be the governor for 60653. That is our roll call. That's our structure. Each of those zip codes are linked to a different US city. Each of those zip codes are linked to a different country in Africa. Each of those zip codes are linked to a different career profession. Okay, now, as the chairman CEO, I don't stress the fact that people aren't on. What I try to do is to be consistent. We know every fourth Saturday is this national summit. So I just make sure that at least there's a document you can look at. And if for no other reason, you can hear from the CEO why it didn't happen, why people weren't on, or if they are on, you get to hear the updates from them. So we move over to the good news report. And from a good news standpoint, this is what I'm gonna say. I believe, and it's a good news report, so I shouldn't say the bad, but every June 30th is our deadline. Every June 30th. The month of June is the most important month in the work that we do. June is the most important month. And while June, we did very well, money-wise, donation-wise, we didn't get to where we wanted to be. And it is extremely disheartening to me because of the violence. And I know how critical it is for self-funding when we talk about stopping the violence in Chicago. So from that standpoint, I was disappointed. But the good news is we did do better in June this year than we did last year. So I appreciate that. That's the good news. Also good news is the fact that we saw the transition from Georgia to Gary. That went well. We didn't get brother Lawrence Sutherland, or we call him our brother Calvin. We didn't get him up here from Georgia, but he is on standby, still ready to come up here from Atlanta, Georgia. Sister K is ready to receive him whenever we get him up here. So that we appreciate him staying on the ready. And for all of the rest of you guys who have people who are waiting to come up here, we want you to come. We did get the other good news is a young man who his mom asked us to be in his life this summer. We did get him out to Gary and we passed that test. We believe, we haven't affirmed it, but based on the conversation last with him, he wants to come back. And that's a victory, especially in this day and age when our young people are so introverted with gaming and things of that nature. The fact that they want to be around someone else is a good sign. And I tell you that so that you can do the same thing this mom is doing, which is reach out, see if you can get your child around other people who are positive, progressive, and who can challenge them for this summer. So those are just some of the good news reports. As I go through each month, you will hear more and more good news, just like in Milwaukee. We just hit it out the park with a superstar there in Milwaukee who should be coming on board as our president of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I just go through the rest of the summit and you will hear about other good news as well. Then we have our rural town reports. So just so you guys know, there's about 10 small Black towns in the country that we're linked in with. And these 10 small Black towns have been given something that can cause these small towns to have us as their largest employer in these 10 small rural towns. So you know we had 20 US cities linked to Chicago's 20 zip codes. but we got half of that in rural towns. Places like the first Black town in America, Mount Bayou, Mississippi, birthday July 12, 1887, the longest African-American serving city in the United States of America. We also have Coahoma, Mississippi. We have Metcalf, Mississippi. We have Falcon, Mississippi. We have Whitehall, Alabama. We have Moses, Alabama. We have Coalfield, North Carolina, and we have Bucksport, South Carolina. These are some of the blackest small towns in America. Falcon, Mississippi, for instance, only have 150 people in the town. So you better believe when we open up 7 offices, we will be the largest employer in that small town. And this is going to allow these small towns to create the vibrancy that they need so that we can be, as a people, international as well as national, and have an outlet for our people to go build themselves up. So that's the updated on the Rural Town Report. Mississippi is the blackest state in the union. So we believe in heavily investing in Mississippi. Our 20 nickels to Mississippi is real. We want you to join that process as well. All right, so that's it for the opening, the roll call. We're going to move on now to the safety and the young people. So here, and I'm going to be taking breaks as well. So, but just so you guys know, we go roll and talk about the safety and the young people. We're going to be going over the violence levels. I got that report, so I'm going to be reading some of what's happening, and we're going to talk through that. I believe God this month has allowed me to fine tune some of our insight that's going to really give people a better understanding on why we continue to see this spike in shootings and whatnot in our neighborhoods and what we can do about that. So let me now take this break. Our breaks are normally less than 5 minutes. I try to do 2 to 3 minutes so our people can take a break, go get something to drink, do anything that they want to do in between time before we come back and continue with our agenda here. So let me go and put this photo up so you guys can just study this while I take this break here. So the picture I'm going to put up is going to be talking about why. Let's go right here. This is a better picture here. This is going to show you the linkages that we want to make between our faith-based community and our youngsters out here, K through 12th grade. This is important. All right, here we go right here. Oh, no, well, all right, that'll come up at the next break. This here is our January through July. This shows you who in every one of our 20 neighborhoods in Chicago, who we hope would have donated their money this month. They still have 7 days to go. Next Saturday is our Black Summer Olympics out of Avalon Park. We'll be there with Peacemakers Worldwide, National Block Club University, Sister Erica. So right here are the people whose last names is A through E. As I take this break here, please take a peek at this. I'll be back at 3:16 p.m. All right, all right, all right. Thank you guys for being with me here. Let's see, waiting on the signal. All right, thank you guys for your patience. So I want to get right back to where we left off at, which is dealing with the safety. And I got several things to present when it comes to the violence that's affecting us. God allowed me this month to add the people moving toward programming. And we saw something similar to this back in the 90s when President Clinton, US President Clinton, had so many resources allotted for faith-based. We saw a lot of people move into the faith-based world. So a lot of times what ends up happening is, depending on where the federal government is moving, a lot of people move in that same direction to capture the funding, which is essentially their money. It's their tax dollars money. So we get that. So let me go and speak specifically about the violence. Let me read to you what happened just yesterday here in Chicago, but it's consistent no matter whether we talking Memphis, Birmingham, we dealing with the same stuff. So we had two 15-year-old, 17-year-old shot. The 17-year-old was killed at 1:15 in the morning on 68th in Peoria. We know that area well. That's in zip code 60621. We're working on getting that zip code better aligned with the strategy that we have. And what I mean by that, every zip code, we want to see every zip code support the inventory. If there's every single day, there's people moving in and out of the community. So when we're not seeing the numbers come in, we're not hearing people text us, new people that they met in their neighborhood, then we know people are coming. I mean, we're just not doing the work that is going to take for us to meet every person. Every person brings something to the table for us to make our neighborhood stronger and safer. And so when we don't hear from our people with that, that pretty much indicates to us that we're not doing the work necessary, which is the inventory, so we'll know what we're working with. This happened at 1:15 in the morning. The 15-year-old was shot in the 17-year-old. This happened in the backyard. Then we had also yesterday a 37-year-old man. He was murdered, shot to death. He was standing on the sidewalk, North Avenue, one block up North Avenue, and Moody. That's in zip code 60639. That zip code is linked to Nigeria, it's linked to Memphis, and it's linked to all of our judges and poets. Then we had, that happened at the same time. So two killed exact same time, 1:15 in the morning, one 37-year-old, the other one 17. Then at 7:30 on 70th and Merles, this is our sales village. Merles is a strong block, have great people on that block. Unfortunately, we lost a young man. He was shot to death on that block at 7:30 p.m. So that's three people who's no longer with us today that was just killed yesterday. This shooting and killing that we're hearing and seeing all over this country, predicated, unfortunately, on, for Black people, is predicated on hopelessness. And I can't stress that enough. Some people are living moment to moment. We call it the ticking time bombs. So there's 86,400 seconds every day. And at any second, it can go from 0 to 10 in terms of a bad interaction that leads to gunfire. I want to spend some time here on this because this is a big part of what God gave me to really explain to people. When people say there's no hope, like there's nothing that can be done. Some people argument is the National Guard. Some people argument is to lock them up longer. And what I'm going to say is normally it's a combination of things. It's not, if you call some, I talked about the four pieces with almost anything. It's the part, it's the tool, it's the and it's the label. And this goes with all the time to change. program. It's not to skill and time. And so what I want to give you guys right now is the skill. I wanted to give you some for the black videos down to live. And October, as it stands right now, one of if you disrespect me, then we end this black and go as hard as I can to eliminate. Some of our people are glorifying savagery, being beast mode, things of that nature, and all of that stuff for the same people traumatized deeply. And so for them, it means literally. And so for those people meaning literally, they get a 7-year-old baby and can kill that baby. Okay. So I hope it stays you guys here. So lifestyle is the issue for the black community when it comes to the shooting and killing. We have to hold ourselves accountable. For any crime to take place, you need intent, capability, and opportunity. Those three ingredients must be present for a crime that takes place. The solution, we believe, is three-pronged as well. It's prevention, it's resources, and it's enforcement. We can't let black parents off the hook. We can't let black men off the hook. Everyone has to look in the mirror and be accountable, but we also need to alter our lifestyle. And that lifestyle HSN. HSN stands for habits. We know we got some habits that need to be altered. There's schedule, what we do with our time, and this network, who we're around. Those things matter when we talk about stopping this foolishness we're dealing with out in the streets of Chicago. So anyway, let me move on. I read to you what's happened. The good news on our part is that we are not giving up. We are steadfast in terms of reaching our community. I do want to go through real quick the months, why these months matter so much. June, if you didn't know, is the beginning of the summer. June is. July is the month with the most dangerous, the most murders that take place in America happens in the month of July. 4th of July weekend is the most deadliest weekend in Black America. So June is the opportunity to get things right so that come the first week of July, we don't have the most deadliest holiday weekend out the year. May can't be the most important month because May is also host to the first most deadliest 4-day holiday, which is Memorial Day. But more importantly, May is also children still in school. May is also cool, rainy weather. So May isn't the month to really galvanize people toward making a difference to stop this killing. June is. July isn't because of the 4th of July, because then you're competing with summer vacations, family reunions, things of that nature. And then August definitely isn't, because now you're dealing with back to school, college trips. So the only window we really have where we have everyone's attention is the beginning. And that's what June represents. So for us to get to June 30th and we didn't have our goals met, and we do our planning during the recovery period, which is the 4th quarter, October, November, December. So we already know from December 31st to the first most deadliest holiday, which is Memorial Day weekend, it's 147 days. So what I'm hearing now, when people getting shot and killed, and they saying what can be done, that question was for the 4th quarter. You needed to have your plan together last year so that you coming into the year executing on your plan. Now isn't the time to be talking about what to do. That was in the past. We have 147 days to work on what to do. And then when we get to Memorial Day weekend, that's the test. That's what we're gonna see. And all that planning we did, is it gonna work? And the 4th of July weekend is the biggest test of them all. So anyway, I just want you guys to have that insight on what it's gonna take to make it safer. So right now, because we failed to get what we need, which is the goal from December 31st last year, was that we would have by April 16th, right after tax day, April 16th, we would have had $5,000 raised from Chicago Black businesses. That was April. So by May 1st, we would have had that 5,000. 3 people would have been working. Then in May, we would have got 35 Black businesses in Gary on board with another 5,000. 3 people working. Then in June, we would have been able to go to Detroit, get 35 Black businesses there, putting up the $5,000, so 3 people working then. Then in July, we would have went to St. Louis, got 35 Black businesses on board, another 3 people working with that $5,000. And then in August, going up to Milwaukee. So DSM is Detroit, St. Louis, and Milwaukee. That was $5,000 in each one. That would have been $15,000 plus Chicago, and Gary would have been 10. So we should have been at $25,000 by the end of this summer. Hasn't happened, still could happen, but we can't replace June. We lost 30 days in June no matter what. We're at the 24th day here in July. So it's never too late, but I don't like the fact that we couldn't have done what we planned on doing 147 days early. So I just wanted to get that in you guys' ear so you guys would know firsthand from our standpoint where we wanted to be when it came to stopping this violence out here. And if it's gonna call, if without us putting the money up, it's not even feasible to think that we're gonna be able to do that. So anyway, let's move on with the agenda and to keep us progressing here. We also have another break coming up. So what I'm gonna do here, we're at the 30 period. I'm gonna take a quick 2-minute break here. Then when we come back, we're gonna switch over and talk about missing persons, and we're gonna talk about our young people. So let me put another screen up here, give you guys 2 minutes to take this break. I want you to look at this next screen, save it here, so you guys can see what we're doing. We'll talk about the young people here in a minute. There we go. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, I'm back. The beauty is until God call you home, you still got time to spread some love, to help people, to just be a good person. And that's what we really want to push everyone to doing. Let's switch gears now. Let's talk about missing persons. This is a subject that really pains me because we still have so many people that haven't been home to their loved ones. And this, as me and you and other people who don't have people that's missing right now, we go on about our day. We have 4th of July weekend. We enjoy Memorial Day weekend. There are some people who their loved one isn't at the dinner table, and they don't know, they don't have the closure of knowing if that person that they love is dead or alive, if they're being tortured every day. So what I'm asking all of us to do is to always, of course, keep them in our prayers. But faith without works is dead. It's some work we can be doing too. So under the missing persons, especially in high crime neighborhoods, we want to look at on your block, any vacant buildings. We already know that that's one of the safe havens if you have a vacant building. And if you have a vacant building on your block, is it boarded up? Is it secured? I just had to reboard a building up that someone went in and took the wood off. So of course, I tried to make sure no one was in there. And I said, hey, if you in here, come out because I'm about to board it back up. So you're gonna be boarded in there if you don't come out. So no one came out, I boarded it back up. But this is the work, because again, if someone is being human trafficked or if they're missing and they're inside one of these vacant buildings and they're on your block, you have a chance to be the person to sound the alarm and possibly help a family get their loved one back. Even if it's the bad news of them no longer being alive, it's closure. It takes away the mystery of wondering if their loved one is suffering. So I just want to put that out there under the missing persons. Our leader, Erica Dunn, she's the leader for all missing persons in Chicago. She is one of our superstars that's doing the Avalon event, and with Peacemakers Worldwide named Erica Dunn. And all vacant buildings, we want you to text that to 312-405-8844. Any vacant buildings, text that to 312-405-8844. Also, any vans that's moving around our zip codes where you can't see inside, text the location, text the license plate number, what state that you've seen this van with, no windows. And we understand this could be profiling, but we need to take this step, we feel, because we need to know if there's vans moving around our neighborhoods, picking up people and holding them inside these vans that we can't see inside. So we'd rather build our own database just in case, and that's what we're asking you to do if you see a van that we can't see inside in your neighborhood or anywhere. All right, only thing I have with the youth is, I told you on the good news report, the mentorship of the young people. And the key with this is one young man who was in the house all the time on social media, just being an introvert, and that's okay. But he needs to know how to interact with the public as well. So his mom got him out there with us and we took him out. So far, so good. He appreciates being with us, and we're going to continue to expose him and have him meet other people. We want every parent to ask for help. If your child needs to be out the house doing something positive, just put it out there. You never know. So we want you to do that so that we can see who we know in your zip code in that area who can work with your child. We have more than enough things that they can do over social media. They can do in person. They can do over the phone. So it's just a matter of making sure that they're connected so that they can have something else other than PlayStation, other than Roblox, all those things our young people tend to spend a lot of time doing. So that's what I want to put out there for the young people. Every Saturday is Youth Day. And so today is that day we should be spending time with those youngsters. So now let's switch gears to talk about economic development. And you guys know it is so important, especially in our community, that we put our money where our mouth is. It's past time for us to finance what we have to do to turn our neighborhoods around. I want to read to you the numbers so far. This year, we raised 4,000. One second. So this year we raised $4,804.21. $4,804.21. That's as of May 31st. So in June, we did less than what we did. I think we did $1,016 in May. So we did less than that in June. But however, it was better than last June. But last June was COVID June. So yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad. But the bottom line is we've spent almost $7,000. So far, personally, I had to put in $2,200 to keep the organization afloat. Personally, that is a loan, so I expect that back as you guys continue to donate. On the loan front this year, we borrowed $9,000 from you. Thank you guys, because without that $9,000, we wouldn't have been able to run the structure that we're running right now. We appreciate the debt process because what it does, it keeps the burden on us to continue to get you guys to do the $12 a year. We need to do that. If this money is coming from one or two people, that's not a sustainable model. So the goal is to share the burden, share the workload. And because this month is last names A through E, here are the last names that should, if you haven't, we hope you would get your $12 in. I'll read to you some of these last names. Abrams, Armsteads, Allens, Atwoods, Ali's, Altmans, Manasteeds, Andersons, Appletons, Atkins, Atans, Austins, Baileys, Banks, Barnes, Barners, Barksdales, Bakers, Baskins, Beckman, Bay, Blackman, Bilbro, Blair, Blake, Bogart, Boots, Bowen, Bounds, Bolin, Boyd, Brady, Bradley, Brinson, Brooks, Brown, Butlers, Buckleys, Butlers, Bynums, Campbells, Carries, Carltons, Chapmans, Cheers, Chestons, Christians, Clares, Clansons, Clarks, Claytons, Clintons, Coachmans, Colemans, Collins, Conies, Cooks, Cowards, Corners, Croters, Cunninghams, Cousins, Danzies, Davises, Deers, Delaney's, Dawson's, Debonays, Dickens, Dominguez, Dortch, Dixon's, Dishmans, Drapers, Dreskeys, Duncans, Dunlaps, Duns, Dyers, Earlys, Edwards, Elmeans, and that's it. So A through E last names is our largest last names. So I just took, I believe, the biggest out the whole year. So what I just read to you this month should be our bread and butter. Like it should be money coming in from all over because of all those last names. Now, it probably won't, unfortunately, because of the work it takes to really engage people. But what I'm gonna challenge our team to do is to make sure we at least put the call out and ask those same last names I just gave you to be ready in 6 months come January 2022. So if we don't get the money now, which we hope to get the $12 out of them, it's okay, we'll get them in 6 months. It's called the 6-month solution on purpose because every 6 months is when we want to reach out, engage, and see if we can win people over. I also want to talk about the 4 Wednesdays a month. Every Wednesday, Daily Living Habit is Economic Day. Just like Chinatown, just like Greek Town, just like Little Italy, Ukrainian Village, you name it. We want to make sure that we are circulating money in our community. If you follow that methodology, that model, then you should be able to name 4 Black businesses at the end of each month. We said again, you should be able to name 4 Black businesses at the end of each month. Remember, Chinatown, Greek Town, Little Italy, they can name 20. We're saying name 4. That's 4 Wednesdays a month. So this is the part where you would ask yourself, can I name 4? And if I can't, let me do better next month. That's all. We're not bashing you, but naming them matters because it allows us to tell other people and get them more support. A lot of what we're dealing with has to do with the circulation of money. Let's switch gears and talk about now construction. This is huge. Construction is a big deal. And we are fortunate today to have met a sister who runs the executive level when it comes to construction, helping them get scalability to tap into larger construction contracts and projects. I'm gonna work with Reva Fellows to solidify that meeting with her, but she's gonna be a good fit with Reverend Taylor, who you guys been hearing me brag about, how he's connected me with like 30 people already. So he's a big part of what's gonna allow us to grow on the construction side. We've already got a young man working with him, and he needs more manpower. We also want to get Welder Collins with him as well. They're in zip code 60609, Reverend Banks, Sister Gail. Sister Gail is going to be the governor for this zip code linked to them. So that's going to help us tremendously with attracting and getting young people into the construction trade. With all of this money, the infrastructure bill that Congress is going to consider $3.5 trillion. We want to make sure that we're in line to benefit from that. And here's the way I hope you would look at this when it comes to construction and almost anything. Think about it in the 3-tiered process: high, medium, and low. We have people like the Stephanie lady I'm telling you about, who's more on the high end when it comes to construction. Then we got average Joe, who's just a laborer on the block who loves using his hands. So we need to have the process in place for the Stephanies of the world at the high end, sitting down with major companies, and our brother off the block who's ready to learn a skill in the trade, and making sure on that end that we have the area where he can stay clean, not on drugs, so that he can be available when it comes time for the bigger contracts. So that's Sister Gail, Brother Al Banks. We also did our trucking convention. I want to talk about that. That's part of our construction team 5 as well. And the trucking convention, it allowed us to build some new relationships, found out about 4 or 5 new Facebook groups dealing with the truckers. So that grew a little bit. And our brother Ellis Cowork, who's a moving company, he's bringing the coalition of business people together. We're helping with that so that we can, again, tap into the economic benefits in our neighborhood. Remember, we are $2 trillion people that gives our money away to everyone else. So now, before we break again, I want to talk about the other 20 cities. I want to tie this in because we have some good news in these other cities. So we have Atlanta, Georgia. We have Los Angeles, Milwaukee, Miami, New Orleans, Norfolk, and Philly. Let's talk about those real quick. Atlanta, you guys know that's my home during the winter months. We got our brother Baba out there doing it big in Westview. We also have our brother Lateef. He's a Atlanta Hawks fan, season ticket holder brother that loves the ATL, and he's working with the young men. He's a barber, a master barber, and he's a superstar that, again, we send our little dimes to support him each month as well. We got our sister in North Georgia, Ashley, beautiful spirit, along with Love Travels group up there. So Georgia is doing good. Los Angeles, our sister Olivia and Elizabeth, brother Frank, who owns a car wash out there, they was able to put the free gas going in Compton, well, 11913 Compton Avenue in South LA. The free gas and the free gas in Milwaukee. We just got the sister Toya, who we hope is going to become the leader of Milwaukee for us. Norfolk, I've been noticing a lot of people getting killed in Norfolk recently. Been seeing a lot of those news reports. Philly, unfortunately, continues to be right behind Chicago with the violence. Miami, New Orleans. So that's the cities I want to talk about. In the next segment, you're going to hear me talk about Birmingham, Boston, Cleveland, Dallas, Detroit, Gary, New York, and San Diego. Let's take this break here. We'll come back in 2 minutes, and then we're going to talk about education and health. We come back 2 minutes, education and health. All right, everyone, your host, Cyron Smith, coming back to you. We left off on education and health. I'm going to put food in there as well. So what I like to do here is to highlight to you guys, again, the good news that just recently transpired on the education front. So those who don't know, BEPCH is 27 years old, 26 years old with us. That's businesses, elected officials, police, church, and households. Businesses, elected officials, police, church, and household working together. The challenge in America, in the urban sector of America, is the government is attempting to bring beats together. The problem with the government bringing BEPCH together is that the Democrats or the Republicans want to talk about bringing them together, because each of them have a different perspective on what needs to get done and how it should get done. So we got to be careful letting them be the brokers of us coming together. They should be a part, but they shouldn't be leading the coming together, because you don't know if it's partisan or if it's politics or not. So that's why I think it's important for the zip codes to be the brokers, because again, it's where you live at that matters. So I want to read to you kindergartners through 12th graders, our format, kindergartners through 12th graders with the C of BEPCH, the church. This is what we believe is going to help on the education front. So first, let's start with kindergartners. All kindergartners are linked to non-denominational church leaders, and this isn't to convert them. Let me say it again. This isn't to convert no one's faith. This is who's going to financially help. So non-denominational churches will help kindergartners out in the different zip codes assigned to them. First graders will receive financial help from the metaphysical faith leaders. The second graders will receive help from the Jewish faith. Third graders will receive help from the Moorish faith. Fourth graders will receive help from the Catholic faith. The fifth graders will receive help from the Pentecostal faith. The sixth graders will receive help from the MBC, Missionary Baptist Church. Seventh graders from the Church of God in Christ. The eighth graders from the African Methodists. The ninth graders from the Islamic faith. 10th graders from the Lutheran faith. And then the 11th graders from the United Methodist faith. And finally, the 12th graders from the Baptist faith. So again, this isn't a conversion. Whatever you believe, good for you, as long as you know it's a higher power. But we want it to be organized to say when we have these different faiths together, they'll know what lane they can be in coordination with, so that we can not be stepping on each other's toes, and we can be able to have a greater impact by being concentrated. So that's how we got K through 12th graders structured all over the nation. But I just read to you, it's our national direction no matter where we go. Now, that's just with the faith base. Watch this. So if you're a parent of a K through 12th grader, you should really, really love this. So all daycare owners are linked to kindergartens. All entertainers, kindergartners. All painters, kindergartners. All veterinarians, kindergartners. So not only did I link, we got the faith of non-denominational link to kindergartners, but daycares, entertainers, painters, and vets as well. So kindergartners should be good once we get people to adopt this. First graders, all gardeners, liquor store owners, and seamsters are linked to first graders. Again, if you're a parent of a first grader, gardeners, farmers, liquor store owners, and seamsters, tailors got your child's back. That's going to be a big deal. Second graders, corner store owners, firefighters, fishermen or anglers, and martial arts have second graders, along with, as I stated earlier, the Jewish community helping them. For third graders, we have the beauty supply store owners, carpenters, Marine veterans, and restaurants are covering the third graders. And of course, the Moorish community from a faith standpoint. So third graders should feel good about that. Fourth graders, beauty salons, not beauty supply stores like third graders, beauty salons, bricklayers, detectives, landscapers, police, snow removal firms got our fourth graders. So think about how beautiful that is. If you're a parent of a fourth grader, knowing you got bricklayers, detectives, landscapers, police, snow removals covering your child financially and the Catholic community. That's big. Fifth graders, car wash owners, nurses, photographers, and scientists, they're covering our fifth graders. And again, the Pentecostal faith is covering fifth graders. So that's a strong business and faith-based working together for your fifth grade child. Sixth grade, sixth graders, all our Army veterans, clerical personnel, computer programmers, and nail salon owners, along with the Missionary Baptist Church is covering your sixth graders. Then we had seventh grade, Air Force veterans, auto mechanics, entrepreneurs, gas station owners, journalists, and roofers covering your seventh graders along with Church of God in Christ. Powerful. Eighth graders, barbershop owners, judges, lawyers, moving companies, and travel agents, along with the African Methodists got your eighth graders covered. Then we moving right on to the ninth graders. Ninth graders is accountants, chefs, cleaners, landlords, Navy personnel, and welders are covering your ninth graders. That's who got your ninth graders covered, along with the nation, the Islamic faith. Nation Islam is covered our freshmen all over the country. They got our freshmen covered. 10th graders are caterers, sales store owners, Coast Guard, doctors, DJs, and heating and ventilation personnel, along with the Lutheran faith is covering our 10th graders, our sophomores. Then you move to the juniors, 11th graders, all of our apparel store owners, all of our people that make shirts and whatnot, all of our book authors, electricians, librarians, and politicians covering our 11th graders financially, along with, of course, the United Methodists. Then we move to the final grade, 12th graders. We have all of our lounge owners, marketers, massage therapists, day spa personnel, plumbers, salespersons covering our 12th graders along with the Baptist faith. So that's linking the faith and the business community. Our K through 12th graders are going to be sitting really, really pretty as we get people to adopt this. One example of how this looks and how this works, a mother of four, 32-year-old mother of four is facing eviction. She needs to raise $2,000 to starve off eviction. She has a 2nd grade son, 5th grade son, 7th grade daughter, 11th grade daughter. Because of this process, she no longer had to get all the money from her Church of God in Christ church. So that church now is spared the mission of trying to raise $2,000 for her because our 2nd grade son, the Judaist community, the Jewish community is going to help her 2nd grade son. The Pentecostal community will help with her 5th grade son. The Church of God in Christ is going to help with the 7th grade daughter, and the United Methodist is going to help with the 11th grade daughter. All of them will help. That grade is helping the one family because it keeps them from not being in a stable environment where they can't concentrate in school. So that is the enormous benefit of this process of linking the different faiths together to support one grade. It allows for mass collaboration. So that's a beautiful thing, we believe. So we're excited about that. If you are a leader in a church with one of them faiths, we want to be able to, again, win you over so that we can have at least 20 people in your faith, your church, support what we're doing. 20 people in your church doing the $20, the $12, $1 a month. And that'll give us what we need to grow that and help that be a force in every zip code. Okay. So we also talk about schools and teachers, school being out now. One of the things that goes unrecognized is school teachers who pay out of pocket for school supplies all year long. They're spending their personal money to keep the students with some basic semblance of what they need to be educated. So what we're saying and what we want to be able to do is during the summer months, when they're no longer getting that steady income, we want to supplement their income. We want to find ways of honoring them, supporting them. When we talk about awards for being teacher of the year and all that type of stuff, just think in every zip code, the teachers and I that did well, that we gave them a monetary collection and support. And if we made that part of our process each year during that June, July, and August can be a lot more bearable if we as a community did that all over the country. So I want to just challenge us to think about school teachers when they're out of school and the how we can find ways to show love economically, financially. All right, let's talk about the health part. Um, so I don't have the COVID numbers, but you guys know I normally post the COVID numbers by zip code. A lot of what needs to happen, no matter what, with COVID, is a strong immune system. So whether you took the shot or not, I'm not here to debate that. What I care about is that you have a better, healthy lifestyle. Again, lifestyle. So it's a matter of making sure that you get the right amount of rest, you drink the right amount of water. Alkaline water is better than regular water. That you have a certain amount of exercise, so you're moving around, not sitting around all day gaining weight, and not burning off calories. Thursday is health day to us, so we push that at least 52 times a year. Thursdays in particular, health, be healthier, eat healthier, and so forth. So we wanted to push that. You guys know we support Healthy Place Botanicals economically, so we can help people capture money and circulate money internally. That's a big piece of what we do. And what else? That's it on the health side. So I'm gonna take this break. When we come back, I'm gonna be wrapping up. And I told you guys, if we went 30 minutes, we good. So when I come back, we're gonna be talking about government, report cards, laws on the books, voter registration. We're gonna talk about Gary, Indiana conventions. Then I'm gonna close it out with the next summit, which is gonna be in August. So let me now give you guys this break. All right. I'll put this up so you guys can look at this while we take this next to final break here. All right, you guys, I am back. Like I said, we're going to be wrapping up here soon. My train is coming. I'm going to be getting back out of here. So right now, let me give you guys the update on the other cities. So this is Birmingham, Alabama, Boston, Cleveland, Dallas, Detroit, Gary, Indiana, New York, San Diego. We have Kansas City, Missouri, DC, St. Louis, St. Paul, and Memphis. The Birmingham City Council just approved money set aside for anti-violence again. You guys know my mistakes they're gonna. So at least we put money that's better than not put money there. So I do think we need to call a lot of what we're saying anti-violence. We need to call it youth programming and keep the hawks down from taking their money away. We need to invest in teenagers. That's the most risk-taking time in their life. Okay, so now Birmingham is doing that. Boston already has set aside a lot of money. Cleveland, not sure what Cleveland is doing. Dallas, let me give kudos to Dallas. Out of all 20 cities, Dallas, Texas Police Department were the only one so far. Today would have been Miami if they would have responded. Dallas was the only city police department in America that got in touch with us, and we did the interview. It's on YouTube. Go to my page, you can see Dallas police representing, and that tells us something, because in all these other cities, you hear the city talk about they're doing all they can to make it safer, but you can't say you're doing all you can and you're ignoring when a letter comes to you saying, here's a national anti-violence group, and no one gets on. Dallas has the bragging rights now because they appear to be doing all that they can, because they at least responded to a nobody group. All right, so that's kudos to them. All right, now let me switch gears, talk about policy. As you know, we believe in report cards on politicians. We believe politicians should have evaluations done for us every second Friday of each month. And the benefit of every second Friday of each month, that means 12 times a year, they're going to get evaluated. This is better than what ends up happening, which is done every 4 years. So every 4 years. So we wait every 4 years. The challenge for us with every 4 years is that all type of stuff can happen. And what they end up doing in those 4 years could be saving up resources so that that fourth year they can do everything to visually win you over again, and then you vote for them again. You'd be surprised the games that's played in that arena. So I just wanted to make sure people knew that that's unfortunately what we up against too often. Now, in terms of real policy, this is team number 8, we call it. Team number 8 is all of our legal minds, people that believe that the way policy is crafted, the laws would dictate how well we do. So all those people, team 8 out of 8 teams is that group, and they look at the laws on the books and they look like what we can do to be different, be better. And so I wanted to make sure that anyone that's in team 8, you guys get in touch with us, 312-405-8844, so that we can work with you and get you plugged in. St. Louis, Missouri is our headquarters for all things dealing with lawyers. Today, fourth Saturday in July, is our lawyers convention. So we, I think we had 2 or 3 people, lawyers, that we talked to today. We weren't able to get them on the Zoom like we wanted to, but we'll keep working on that. But the goal of any young person that want to be a lawyer, that we'll get them linked in with our professional lawyers who's doing it already. Y'all know it's so many areas of law. So that's part of what we do with the young people, help them figure out what area that they want to be able to help counsel other people on when it comes to law. Let's see, right now, voter registration, it's the second Friday of each month. So every second Friday, we want to make sure that we're registering young people to vote. We want to keep that message in front of them. They need to know that the grown-ups want them to exercise their right. You can put the limit and restrict that. So we are against that at all costs. We believe we need to be making easier, not harder. And that should be where the rights and the voices of the people is heard. There are people in this country who benefited a long time on suppression, and those days are just, no matter what, are going to come and pass. It's not going to continue to stay like that. I want to read to you guys the restaurants, because I didn't speak about Ina and Brother Ellis Coward, who on the food side is working to make sure that we can get quality food. There's a war that takes place when it comes to the food you put in your belly. And the farmers who are being bought out by conglomerates, so now your food isn't as quality as it would have been if it was done locally by people that you know versus these multinational companies. And God knows what they're doing to stretch the profits. All right, so let me read to you. I'm gonna do this in regions so you guys can follow us in regions. So Gary, Chicago, Atlanta is one region. So we have the Richie Rich restaurant in Gary, Indiana, Ambrosa Banquet Hall. We have Busy Bee in Atlanta. These are the restaurants. We have Connie's and Barbara's Soul Food Restaurant in DSM, which is Detroit, St. Louis, Milwaukee. Mom's Soul Food Restaurant in St. Louis. Daddy's Soul Food Restaurant in Milwaukee. We have in Miami, Birmingham, and New Orleans region, Matt's Soul Food, Cat's Creation in Birmingham, Freddy's Chicken in New Orleans. In Dallas region, we have Atlanta, Four-Way Soul Food in Memphis. In KSC region, which is Kansas City, Cleveland, and St. Paul, where it's KSC, so it's Kansas City, St. Paul, and Cleveland region. We have Club Rain Restaurant in Kansas City. We have Mama's Kitchen in St. Paul and Angie Soul Food in Cleveland. In LS region, which is Los Angeles and San Diego, we got Delane Soul Food in LA and Bonnie Jean Soul Food in San Diego. And in the largest region, we have BPDNN region. We have Boston, Daryl's Corners Bar and Kitchen. In DC, we have Sweet Pea Soul Food Kitchen, Soul Food. In Philly, we had Julian Soul Food. In Norfolk, we have Sweet Jams Cafe. Then in New York, we have Sylvia's Restaurant, the world famous Sylvia's Restaurant in New York City. And that's our sister out there, Miss Woods. And we are in touch with Miss Woods. With all of those restaurants I just named, we want to pay for the lunch of at least one or two people. So we essentially want to put $20 in $20 per person. We want to use $50, pay for the taxes for two people. Every summit, $50 to all 20 of these restaurants, so two people can eat and listen to me talk, listen to you talk. And so that way they can learn about this national system that we have and can really just help us to make this thing work. Every one of these cities that I named are the cities that we want to create travel. We want people to be able to go to and from. And when we do that, we're going to create a safer inner city in all of these cities, because that means that the young people have options. They have places they can go and travel and be. And that's going to be essential for all of our communities. And that's why we want to make sure that we're pushing that, we're promoting that. You knowing those restaurants matter. That's a big part of it. And we're going to continue to just push that as we go. You need to get up here? Yep. So last step, thank you. The last step I want to go through is the Gary, Indiana Convention. So the Gary, Indiana Convention represents a reason for every one of these cities that I just read to you, the restaurants. It gives them a reason to come to Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is our headquarters for all administration. So all our paperwork comes out of Gary, Indiana. So every one of those 20 cities have a reason to care about Gary, Indiana. Not to mention it's home of Michael Jackson. So it's like every city, we're giving them a reason so everyone else can rally and spend money in those cities. This is how we're going to turn this country around. It's in circulation, seeing reasons to interact with each other. That's what's going to allow us to just give options to the youngsters. So I do want to let you know the next convention coming up in August. So because next Saturday it's every weekend conventions, but because next Saturday is the 5th weekend, we're not doing the convention on the 5th weekend. It's just 4 conventions a month. So the next one is the political convention. That convention is going to be made up of people who are in politics. I'm going to try to get State Rep LaShawn Ford to be on that one as well. We're going to try and get Mr. Thompson, Mississippi on there. See if we get Congressman Danny Davis, who's just with me today, on there. And we got a brother in Boston, see if we can get him on there. But the purpose of these conventions is to convene people together. This year, first year out of COVID, we're not worried about the physical. We're mainly doing them via Zoom, but we eventually get back to the physical where everyone can come together, and that'll give reasons for youngsters to be traveling, meet new people, all while meeting whatever the path is of that convention. This is today lawyer. The following week after next will be politician. That concludes everything. We went really long, and I think we was gonna go this long. So we almost went an hour and 17 minutes. So that's better than the 30 minutes that I promised. And again, this is without me being sitting down, able to really read to you that stats and things of that nature. Next month, his last name's F through K, F through K. So all our Frasers, our Fords, our Hunts, Huntingtons, Harrises, Irvings, you name it. Next month, we hope to have a lot of people on there as well. Well, for the first time this year, and we're going to continue down this path. We don't expect everyone to get on. A lot of this is recorded so that you can watch it later. It just lets you know we're still alive, we're steady pressing forward, and share this with new people that you have. Last thing I'm gonna leave you with is this. What we talk about, National Black Public University, is A through Z, based on your last name. This is A through E, last names. Next month is F through K last names. Then the month after that, September, is last names L through O. The point is, any person we meet last name, we know what month that we're going to be asking them to be connected with this summit. So we got A to Z covered. We also have Monday, Sunday through Saturday covered. We got all 7 days covered, because Sunday is family day, Monday is safety day, Tuesday is education day, Wednesday is economic day, Thursday is health day, Friday is senior day, Saturday is youth day. So every person we meet, when they tell us what they working on losing weight, we got them on Thursday. They working on a new job, we got them on Wednesday. So we got A to Z covered based on their last name. And now we got whatever they working on in their life, we got the 7 daily habits covered. All right, that's not it. We also have covered so A to Z, 7 days. We also have January through December covered. January through December. So whatever month it is, we already know where we're gonna be, where we're donating to, who we supporting because of the tour. Every month we on tour in a different area. So when I say this process we have is all inclusive, we got A to Z covered, we got Sunday through Saturday covered, we got January through December covered. So it's almost like whoever we meet, we can just welcome them in, and there's a time already set aside so that they can flow, and whatever they're working on is a guaranteed audience already set aside to support what they're working on. We think we hit it out the park, y'all. Only thing missing now is the funding. So come on with your $12. If you want, come in and put up money for other people so that we can speed this whole process up, because at this point, the format is there, the capacity is there. What's missing is